Imagine a life where you no longer chase people, approval, or validation. A life where your peace is not disturbed by noise, nor your purpose dictated by the opinions of others. Imagine waking up, not to the sound of chaos, but to the calm voice within you. A voice you once ignored because the world was too loud. Now picture this. You're alone, but not lonely. You've let go of what no longer serves you, and in that silence, something awakens. Clarity, strength, truth. Buddhism teaches us that true transformation begins not in the presence of others, but in solitude, where your soul finally has space to breathe. This is your path to healing. This is how you rebuild yourself alone. And it starts right now with 12 Buddhist principles that will reshape your mind, renew your spirit, and return you to who you truly are. 1. Detach from the illusion of control. Most of our suffering comes from trying to control things we were never meant to. We want people to behave a certain way. We want life to go according to our plan. We expect situations to unfold exactly how we imagined. And when they don't, we feel frustrated, anxious, or defeated. But here's the truth. You cannot control what other people say, think, or do. You cannot control the outcomes, the timing, or the twists of fate. Life is unpredictable. People are imperfect. Circumstances will change, often without warning. Buddhism teaches us that pain is not caused by what happens to us, but by our attachment to how we believe it should happen. As Buddha wisely said, you only lose what you cling to. The tighter you hold on to expectations, the more you suffer when they're not met. But when you release that grip, something beautiful happens. You begin to experience life as it is, not as you demand it to be. Let go of trying to force outcomes. Let go of trying to fix everyone. Let go of needing everything to be perfect. When you stop resisting reality, you stop suffering. And in that surrender, you don't become weaker, you become wiser. Because now, instead of wasting your energy on what you can't control, you begin to master the one thing you always can. Your response. That's where your power is. Not in controlling life, but in how gracefully you meet it. 2. Sit with yourself, not your distractions. In today's world, it's easier than ever to run from yourself. Every time you feel discomfort, boredom, or sadness, there's a screen to scroll, a song to play, a video to watch, or a conversation to escape into. These things may seem harmless, but over time they create a dangerous habit. You start avoiding your own presence. You begin to fear silence. You begin to resist stillness. And slowly, without realizing it, you become a stranger to your own mind. Buddhism teaches that true healing and transformation only begin when you stop distracting yourself and start facing yourself. Why is sitting with yourself so important? Because underneath the noise is truth. Underneath the discomfort is clarity, and the emotions you've buried, those quiet whispers of sadness, guilt, or longing, are not trying to destroy you. They're trying to guide you. When you learn to sit alone, without reaching for your phone, without calling someone, without numbing your thoughts with noise, you begin to hear what your soul has been trying to say all along. You realize you're not empty. You're just unattended. You're not broken. You're just unheard. So sit, not as a punishment, but as a return to yourself. Let the silence feel awkward at first. Let the emotions rise. Observe them like passing clouds. Don't judge, just listen. Because the moment you become fully present with yourself, without needing anything else to escape into, you begin to remember who you really are, and that, in itself, is the beginning of transformation. 3. Embrace the pain that rebuilds you. Most people run from pain. It's natural. We think pain is something bad, something to avoid, something to fix as quickly as possible. But in Buddhism, pain is not the enemy. It's a messenger. It's a mirror. It's the crack through which light enters the soul. The truth is, growth never feels like comfort. It feels like loss, like confusion, like everything falling apart. But just like a seed must break open before it can grow into a tree, you must allow parts of yourself to break so you can rise into someone greater. Pain is not here to punish you. It's here to reshape you. When you sit with your suffering instead of numbing it or escaping it, you begin to understand its wisdom. That heartbreak, it showed you what you truly value. That failure, it taught you resilience you never knew you had. That silence, it brought you face to face with the parts of yourself that need healing. You can't rebuild yourself if you're always hiding from what hurts. And here's the shift. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is this trying to teach me?" This change in mindset turns pain into power. The most peaceful people you'll ever meet are not the ones who never suffered. They're the ones who look their pain in the eye, accepted it with grace, and let it transform them. So don't rush to escape what hurts. Let it burn away the old version of you, the one that was too afraid, too dependent, too lost. And from those ashes, a stronger, clearer, and wiser you will rise. This is the beauty of pain when met with presence. It doesn't just break you, it rebuilds you. 4. Simplify your life. Amplify your spirit. In a world that constantly pushes us to want more, do more, and become more, simplicity often feels like a weakness. But in Buddhism, simplicity is not a step backward. It's a return to clarity, a return to peace. Think about it. How many things do you carry, physically, mentally, emotionally, that you don't truly need? How much energy is drained managing things that add no value to your spirit? The clutter in your home, the overcommitment in your schedule, the noise in your digital life, and the toxic people in your circle, they all weigh you down, quietly and constantly. Buddha taught that desire is the root of suffering, not just material desire, but the craving for more recognition, more possessions, more distractions. But the path to transformation isn't found in adding, it's found in subtracting. Start by asking, what is truly essential to my peace? Simplify your surroundings. Let go of what you don't use. Simplify your relationships. Choose depth over quantity. Simplify your mind. Release thoughts that don't serve your highest self. When you begin to live with less, you actually feel more space to breathe, more time to reflect, more energy to grow. Simplicity doesn't mean you give up joy. It means you stop chasing what doesn't bring real joy in the first place. It creates a sacred space inside you where your spirit can rise, uninterrupted by noise or pressure. So, slow down, clear the excess. Let your life become quiet enough that you can hear your soul again. Because the more you simplify, the more you amplify who you truly are. 5. Become the observer, not the reactor. One of the greatest teachings in Buddhism is this: you are not your thoughts, and you are not your emotions. You are the one who watches them. But most people forget this. Sometimes something triggers them. A rude comment, a moment of fear, a painful memory, and they react without thinking. Anger takes over. Anxiety floods the mind. Sadness pulls them down. And before they know it, they're doing or saying things that only create more suffering. Buddhism teaches a different path, a path of awareness, a path of stillness. Instead of being pulled by your emotions, learn to observe them. Like clouds drifting across the sky, emotions come and go. You don't have to chase them. You don't have to become them. You simply watch. You breathe. You stay still. This is not easy at first. The mind wants to react. The ego wants to fight. The pain wants to scream. But when you pause, you give yourself power. You shift from automatic reaction to conscious response. And in that space between the trigger and your action, you find freedom. Here's the truth. Anger is not the enemy. Fear is not the enemy. Even sadness is not the enemy. The real danger is losing yourself inside of them. So practice becoming the watcher of your mind. When anger rises, say, anger is here. When fear appears, say, I see you, fear, and then breathe. Don't push it away. Don't fight it. Just let it pass, like a wave rolling over you, not through you. This is emotional mastery. This is how you stop being a victim of your mind and start becoming the master of it, because the strongest person is not the one who reacts the fastest. It's the one who stays still long enough to choose peace over chaos. Be the observer, and your whole life will begin to change. We all carry a version of ourselves that was shaped by pain, fear, rejection, or past experiences. Maybe it's the not good enough version, the always fails version, the one that was criticized, betrayed, abandoned, or told they were too much or not enough. And over time, without realizing it, you begin to identify with that self. You start believing that's who you are. You say things like, I'm just an anxious person. I always mess things up. This is just the way I am. But Buddhism teaches something powerful. There is no fixed self. The self you believe you are is not permanent. It can change, it can evolve, it can be rebuilt. Yet in order to become someone new, you have to be willing to let go of the version of you that no longer serves your highest good. Let go of the self that doubts. Let go of the self that shrinks to fit in. Let go of the self that keeps reliving the same story of pain. You don't need to hate that version of you. It was doing its best with what it knew. It helped you survive. But now, you're ready to grow. And growth means releasing the identity that was built on wounds, so you can step into one built on wisdom. This transformation doesn't happen all at once. It happens when you choose, moment by moment, to act like the person you want to become, not the one you've been. You start speaking kindly to yourself. You stop repeating stories that hurt. You walk with your head higher, not out of pride, but because you've remembered your worth. Letting go of the old self isn't about becoming someone else. It's about returning to who you were before the world told you who to be. So breathe deeply. Forgive the past version of you, and with every step forward, remind yourself you are allowed to grow beyond who you once were. 7. Learn the power of walking alone. There will be moments in life when you feel abandoned, misunderstood, or completely alone. Friends fade, relationships fall apart, support disappears, and you're left wondering, why is no one here? But what if that loneliness is actually sacred? In Buddhism, solitude is not something to fear, it's something to honor, because when you walk alone, without the noise, without the influence, without the pressure to be someone for others, you begin to meet the most important person in your life, yourself. We live in a world that constantly tells us to stay connected, but connection without self-awareness leads to confusion. You begin to live for others, say yes when you mean no, and shape yourself to fit their expectations. In solitude, that illusion falls away. You begin to hear your own thoughts again. You start questioning what you actually want, not what others expect. You remember your values, your dreams, your pain, your power. Buddha walked away from his palace, his comfort, his identity, alone. And in that sacred solitude beneath the Bodhi tree, he awakened. Solitude is where you strip away the masks. It's where the real work begins. No one clapping for you, no one guiding your steps. Just you, showing up for your own soul. But understand this. Walking alone doesn't mean being lonely. It means becoming strong enough to stand without needing anyone else to hold you up. When you can walk your path without applause, when you can be at peace without constant company, when you can enjoy your own presence like a best friend, that's when you know you are becoming whole. So if you feel like no one understands you right now, if you're walking a path that feels unfamiliar and quiet, know this isn't your punishment. It's your preparation. Because those who learn to walk alone eventually lead themselves to the most powerful place of all, inner peace. 8. Choose mindfulness over multitasking. In the modern world, multitasking is praised like a superpower. The more you can juggle, the more valuable you seem. But here's what no one tells you. The more tasks you split your attention across, the less of yourself you bring to each one. You eat while scrolling your phone. You listen while thinking about your reply. You walk while your mind races in 1,000 directions. But are you really living, or just moving through life on autopilot? Buddhism teaches the opposite of multitasking. It teaches mindfulness, the practice of being fully present with whatever you are doing, no matter how simple it seems. When you eat, just eat. When you listen, just listen. When you walk, feel each step beneath your feet like it matters. Why is this important? Because when your mind is scattered, your life becomes scattered. When your attention is divided, your energy is drained. And when you rush through every moment, you miss the beauty, the wisdom, and the healing it quietly offers you. Mindfulness brings you back to now, the only moment that actually exists. It calms the nervous system. It clears mental fog. It deepens your connection to the world and to yourself. And most importantly, it awakens your presence. You begin to notice the flavor of your food, the sound of the wind, the rhythm of your breath. You begin to realize that life isn't happening later. It's happening right here, and the more present you are, the richer your life becomes. Even washing dishes can become a meditation. Even sipping tea can become a sacred act if you give it your full attention. So stop chasing more. Stop rushing through everything just to get to the next thing. Slow down. Come back to this moment. Because when you stop multitasking and start living mindfully, you don't just get things done. You come back to life itself. 9. Accept what is and change what you can. One of the deepest sources of suffering in life is the fight against reality. We wish things were different. We replay mistakes, regret decisions, hold on to anger, and obsess over things that are simply out of our control. But here's the truth. You cannot heal by resisting what is. Buddhism teaches a profound balance, acceptance and action. Accept what is, change what can be, and have the wisdom to know the difference. Acceptance does not mean giving up. It does not mean becoming passive. It means making peace with the present moment before you decide what to do next. Because when you're at war with what's already happened, you drain your energy. But when you accept it, you free up space to respond wisely. You don't have to accept injustice. You don't have to tolerate toxic behavior. But you do have to stop wishing the past could be different. You do have to stop trying to control every outcome. Instead, ask yourself, can I change this? If yes, take action with clarity and compassion. If no, breathe, let go, and trust the unfolding of life. Acceptance doesn't mean you agree with everything. It means you stop fighting reality so that you can meet it with strength instead of resistance. And action, true conscious action, comes from a still place, not a frantic one. When you accept what is, you can finally see clearly what steps to take. Here's what happens when you live this way. You stop being a victim of circumstances. You stop getting stuck in endless loops of worry or regret. You begin to move forward, not with fear, but with peace. Because peace is not the absence of problems. It's the presence of inner clarity in the middle of them. So repeat this to yourself when life feels heavy. I will accept what is and change what I can. And in that simple, powerful mindset, you will begin to transform everything. 10. Choose compassion even for yourself. It's easy to feel compassion for others. When someone else is in pain, we offer kindness, patience, and gentle words. But when we fall short, we become our own harshest critics. We replay our mistakes. We insult ourselves in silence. We carry guilt for days, weeks, even years. We hold ourselves to impossible standards and punish ourselves when we fail to meet them. But here's the truth. You cannot truly grow if you're constantly attacking yourself. Buddhism teaches that compassion must begin at home, and that home is your own heart. Self-compassion doesn't mean making excuses. It means recognizing that you are human, that you are allowed to struggle, that healing is not a straight line, and mistakes are part of the journey. When you mess up, speak to yourself as you would to a dear friend. It's okay. You're learning. You're trying. You are still worthy. Because the voice you speak to yourself with becomes the environment your soul lives in. If that voice is harsh, your spirit hides. If that voice is kind, your spirit blooms. Think of a child learning to walk. If that child falls, you don't scold them. You cheer them on. You encourage them to get back up. You need to offer yourself that same grace. Even in your darkest moments, you are not broken. You are becoming. Even in your messiness, you are not a failure. You are a work in progress. Self-compassion is not weakness. It's one of the greatest strengths you can develop, because when you stop fighting yourself, you create space to truly grow. So, pause. Place a hand over your heart. Take a breath and remind yourself, I am doing my best. I am learning. I deserve love, even from me. In that moment, transformation begins, not from force, but from gentle understanding. Because the path to healing is not paved with self-judgment. It's built with compassion, step by step, breath by breath. 11th, break the cycle by breaking the thought. Every day, thousands of thoughts pass through your mind. Some are harmless, some are helpful, but many, without you even realizing, are harmful. Thoughts like, I'm not enough, no one understands me, I always fail. What's the point in trying? And the more often these thoughts appear, the more power they gain. You don't just think them, you start to believe them. And once belief takes root, it begins to shape your choices, your actions, your energy, and ultimately, your life. Buddhism teaches that our reality is created by our thoughts. The Buddha once said, "We are what we think. All that we are arises with our thoughts. With our thoughts, we make the world." This means that the life you are living right now is a reflection of the thoughts you have consistently believed. If your thoughts are fearful, you move through life cautiously, always expecting the worst. If your thoughts are filled with anger, you carry that weight into every conversation. If your thoughts are rooted in lack, you never feel like what you have or who you are is enough. But here's the good news. Thoughts are not permanent. They are habits, patterns. They are like grooves in the mind, carved by repetition, and what has been programmed can be reprogrammed. The key is awareness. You must begin to watch your thoughts, not blindly follow them. When a painful or limiting thought arises, pause. Don't react. Don't obey it. Instead, ask yourself, is this thought true? Is this thought helpful? Is this thought leading me where I want to go? Most of the time, you'll realize it's just an old loop, an outdated story your mind keeps telling because it's familiar, not because it's real. For example, when the thought appears, I always mess things up. You can catch it and say, that's a pattern, not a truth. I've made mistakes, but I've also learned. I've grown. I'm not the same person I was before. This is how you begin to break the cycle, by breaking the thought before it becomes a belief. But awareness alone is not enough. You must also replace the thought with something more aligned, more empowering. Instead of, I'm not good enough, try, I am growing, and growth is messy. Instead of, I'll never change, say, I've already changed in ways I never thought I could. Instead of, I'm too late. Tell yourself, right now is exactly where I'm meant to begin. This isn't toxic positivity. It's conscious mental training. It's about choosing thoughts that support your healing rather than sabotage it. Just like your body needs clean food to grow, your mind needs clean thoughts to thrive. You also have to be patient. These thought loops weren't created in a day. They were built over years through repetition, trauma, pressure, and pain. So be gentle as you begin to rewire your mind. Every time you interrupt a limiting thought, even once, you weaken its grip. Every time you choose a new thought, you strengthen a new pathway in the brain. This is neuroplasticity, the mind's ability to change itself. And Buddhism understood this long before modern science did. Meditation is one of the most powerful tools in this process. When you sit in stillness, you start to notice the noise in your head. You start to see the same thoughts rising again and again. And in that stillness, you gain space. The space to choose, to let go, to reframe, to breathe instead of react. Over time, this conscious choosing becomes natural. You no longer believe every thought that appears. You become the observer, not the prisoner. You begin to think on purpose, not out of habit. And this is when transformation happens. Because when your thoughts change, your beliefs change. When your beliefs change, your energy changes. When your energy changes, your actions change. And when your actions change, your entire life begins to transform. So if you feel stuck in a cycle of fear, of anger, of sadness, look to your thoughts. What stories are you telling yourself? What assumptions are you clinging to? What labels have you outgrown? And most importantly, what new thought will you choose today? Because healing doesn't begin with a new job, a new person, or a new environment. It begins with a new thought. So break the cycle, catch the thought, challenge it, replace it. And with time, your mind will no longer be a battlefield. It will become your greatest ally. 12th, return to the breath. It is your anchor. In every moment of chaos, confusion, fear, or uncertainty, there is one thing that is always with you, always available, and always powerful enough to bring you back to peace. Your breath. It sounds simple. Too simple, maybe. But in Buddhism, the breath is far more than just air moving in and out of your lungs. It is your anchor to the present moment, the doorway to awareness, and the bridge between your body, mind, and spirit. When life becomes overwhelming, your mind tends to run in every direction. It pulls you into the past, replaying what went wrong. It jumps into the future, imagining worst-case scenarios. It creates fear, tension, panic, and before you know it, you're no longer present. You're lost in thoughts that don't serve you, but your breath is always in the now. It cannot exist in yesterday or tomorrow. It only lives here, in this very second. The past is gone. The future hasn't arrived, but this breath is real. When you bring your awareness to the breath, you bring yourself home, to peace, to presence, to life itself. For thousands of years, Buddhist monks have used breath awareness to cultivate mindfulness and inner stillness. Why? Because no matter where you are or what you're going through, the breath is always with you. You don't need tools, money, or permission, only the willingness to pause and return to yourself. When you focus on your breath, something powerful begins to shift. Your nervous system calms, your racing thoughts start to slow down, your heart rate softens. You're no longer caught in the storm of life. Instead, you become the calm center within it. Try it right now. Take a slow, deep inhale. Hold it gently. Now exhale. Do it again. This time, notice it. Feel the air entering your nostrils. Feel your chest expand. Feel the breath leave your body like a wave returning to the sea. That simple act of noticing, of being with your breath, is incredibly powerful. Because here's the truth. You are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are the one breathing underneath them all. When anger rises, return to the breath. When sadness creeps in, return to the breath. When anxiety tightens your chest, return to the breath. It won't erase the situation, but it will give you clarity, space, and calm to face it with strength. In Buddhist teachings, the breath is more than just air. It carries prana, your life force. When your breath becomes shallow and erratic, your energy scatters and weakens. But when your breath is steady, intentional, and deep, your energy returns to you. You become grounded, aware, and alive. So the next time life overwhelms you, don't rush, don't resist. Just return. Just breathe. Because peace is not something far away. It's right here, in this moment, waiting in the stillness of your breath. And in that stillness, you'll find yourself. But when your breath is deep and intentional, your energy becomes steady, strong, and grounded. Many of us live disconnected from this power. We breathe unconsciously, fast and shallow, especially in moments of stress and anxiety. Yet the moment you begin to breathe consciously with presence and purpose, something profound happens. You're not just calming yourself, you're reprogramming your entire mind-body system. This is why breathwork and meditation are more than just spiritual practices. They are tools for emotional healing, stress relief, and even physical well-being. And science backs this up. Studies have shown that mindful breathing reduces cortisol, the stress hormone. It improves heart rate variability, which supports emotional resilience. It boosts the immune system and enhances mental clarity. Through conscious breath, your entire system finds alignment. But beyond the science lies a deeper truth. The breath is your direct connection to life itself. The first thing you did when you came into this world was inhale. The last thing you will do before leaving is exhale. And every breath between those two moments is a chance to begin again. So when the weight of the world feels heavy on your shoulders, when your mind is spinning and your spirit feels lost, don't rush outward looking for relief. Just pause, close your eyes, place a gentle hand over your heart, and breathe. Let your breath become your prayer. Let it carry your pain, your worries, your tension. Let it remind you, you are here, you are alive, and this moment, right now, is enough. Make it a daily practice, first thing in the morning, before the world speaks to you. Breathe. In the evening, after the noise of the day has settled, breathe. In between tasks, before reacting, before speaking, just pause and breathe. Even a single conscious breath has the power to shift your entire state of being. Because when you learn to master your breath, you begin to master your mind. And when you master your mind, you become free. Not because the world has changed, but because something within you has. So return to the breath again and again. Let it be your anchor when everything around you feels unstable. Let it be your teacher, your guide, your silent sanctuary. In the stillness between inhale and exhale, you will find yourself, not the version shaped by expectations and noise, but the version that has always been there, calm, present, and whole. That is where true transformation begins. In a world that constantly tells you to move faster, to achieve more, to be everywhere and everything at once, Buddhism whispers something different. Slow down, be still, go within. Because the transformation you are seeking will not come from applause, from people, or from possessions. It begins in solitude, in silence, in the courageous decision to rebuild yourself from within. These 12 principles are not just ideas, they are invitations. Invitations to let go of control, to sit with your own presence, to listen to the wisdom that lies hidden in your pain, to clear the clutter of your life, to respond, not react, to release who you once were, to walk alone but with strength. To live mindfully and intentionally is to accept what you cannot change, to offer yourself deep compassion, and to break the mental patterns that limit you. It means returning again and again to the breath that grounds you, to that simple, sacred rhythm that brings you home to yourself. You are not broken, you are becoming, you are not behind, you are awakening. So trust this path, even when it's quiet, even when it's lonely, even when it's hard, because the most powerful version of you is not found in the crowd. It's forged in the quiet moments when no one is watching, in the moments when you choose to rise, to rebuild, and to return to who you truly are. Walk this path with courage, and may peace follow every step.